Shalom, everyone. It's Amir Tsarfati, and I'm here live from my basement here in Galilee, overlooking the Jezreel Valley. I wish I could have this whole setting um, outside where you could actually hear the takeoffs of the F-16s and see everything. But the problem is to set it all up outside would make it almost impossible to run to the bomb shelter on time. I'm right outside of my bomb shelter right now. And so this is a special update regarding the events of last night and throughout this morning. Something that is very different than anything we've seen so far in wars in the Middle East. And I'm talking about Israeli strikes on the oil refineries of Iran. This is something that President Trump did not allow us to do in last June, with the hope that the Iranian ayatollahs would get the message and not try to get back to their evil plans to develop nuclear weapon and ballistic missiles that reach America, Europe, and Israel. But since they did not get the memo, since they decided to get back to what they are good at, which is deceiving the world and preparing for uh, the destruction of Israel and anyone that stands on their way, this time gloves were taken off, gloves were removed, and as of last night, let me see, I hear a lot of booms outside. I just want to make sure that yeah. And so this is the unprecedented thing that began taking place last night, and something that you need to know of. This is again something we have never seen before between Israel and Iran. So far in the last exchanges of punches, we struck missile bases and nuclear sites, and we struck specific people, key people in the IRGC and scientists and all of that. But this time, we are hurting financially the Islamic Republic. The main source of income of that country is the oil refineries and the refined oil that they are exporting from their Bandar Abbas port and the island of Kish all the way to mostly China. China is the main customer for the Iranian oil, and this is basically, if you really think about it, this war is not really about Israel or missiles or not even nuclear, as much as it is about dominance in the oil market and overpowering Russia and China. I mean, President Trump is taking steps of a superpower that is making sure um, that it has the upper hand when it comes to oil, energy, and trade routes. And this is something you have to understand. The removal of Maduro was the first shot, and now the removal of Khamenei, with the hope that somebody else that will obey Trump will take place, will replace him. This is what we are watching right now. And President Trump knew the risks. He understood that oil prices might go up for a short time, but in the long run, Iran is the biggest untapped market for the US when it comes to oil, when it comes to collaboration, cooperation, and the fact that without Venezuela and Iran, China will render powerless. So it's very interesting to see that. Now, having said that, let me show you um, what happened last night. So take a look at particular this particular uh, okay, that's okay. There you go. So you're watching the refineries 3 of the 4 refineries that were blown up last night were around Tehran. There's this one, as you can clearly see. Um, so I'll show you from the very beginning just so you see. All right. The Sharan complex that we see, the capacity is huge. The other complex is this one. Again, oil refineries, we're talking about lots of gallons each. This is another one, it's an oil depot. And of course, the last one. So when you look at all of them, take a look at their location around Tehran and further a little bit away. So there you go. If this is 3 of them are around Tehran, one is next to Karaj, and this is what it looked like last night when we struck those oil refineries. In fact, let me show you what the skies of Tehran look like this morning. Take a look at this, folks. Take a look at the skies of Tehran this morning. I hope it's going to work. We uploaded everything, by the way, I'm showing you is on Telegram, which is really growing big. But anyway, you can go and see the sky's totally black. I mean, daytime and the skies of Tehran are completely black. Another thing I want you to know is that, oh, there you go. Take a look at this one. That's daytime in Tehran. Daytime in Tehran, and the sky's dark, the sky's black. This is something remarkable to see. So a lot of people are saying, so Amir, why do you hurt the Iranian people? We don't hurt the Iranian people. We have to topple or at least hurt the regime. And the only effective way to hurt the regime is by hurting it financially, so it will not have the power and the money and their infrastructure to move, arm, regroup, and fire. And they need gasoline, they need energy to do what they do. And without that one, it'll be hard. I don't think they truly took in consideration the fact that we will go that far. But President Trump is even considering taking a whole island that is dedicated to the oil industry of Iran and take over and run the show from there. Basically, the Ayatollahs will not capitulate and agree to work according to the plans of President Trump. He basically is planning on running the show just like he does with Venezuela. Now, it's a different story when you come to a country that big and a country that is that strong, as well as that fanatic religiously, in a country that is interested in chaos. There's the chaos ideology that Khamenei believed in, especially if he dies. Anyway, so that's the first thing I wanted to share with you. The oil refineries around Tehran and next to Karaj have been struck, and it hurts the Iranians immensely, to the point that they even called it a chemical warfare that might require a response. In other words, they're threatening in retaliation with chemical means. Now, the second thing that happened yesterday overnight for us was that a water desalination facility in Iran was struck. And so a reporter, because suddenly all the media, the stupid liberal progressive media, suddenly they all care about the Iranian people. When the Iranian people were slaughtered, nobody cared about that. Now, if you do something to the civilian infrastructure, why do you do that to the Iranian people? They're so hypocrites. They want to defend the Ayatollah regime at any cost. And it's interesting because now take a look at what this reporter actually said to President Trump. So I'm gonna move to the next video. This one. Okay, so wait a minute. Videos. There you go. Here it is. Take a look at this.
Iran today accused the U.S. of hitting a desalination plant in Iran, and they said that might open the door to other strikes on infrastructure, non-military.
Allow us to also open the door to other strikes against them.
Look, in response to that allegation, did the U.S. hit the
Watch what he says.
They are among the most evil people ever on earth. They cut babies' heads off. They chop women in half. What they did, take a look at October 7th. Take a look at what they've done over the last 47 years. So I know nothing about a desalinization plant other than to say, if they're complaining about a desalinization plant, we complain about the fact that they shouldn't be chopping babies' heads off, okay?
Now, I don't know if you noticed what he just said. He said, if they complain about the desalinization plant, we are complaining about them chopping the heads of babies and killing pregnant women and all of that now. And then he said something very interesting. This is so amazing. Listen, you have to understand that. And then he said, look at what they did on October 7th. Now, you could say, wait a minute, October 7th was not done by Iran, it was done by Hamas. No, 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 no. Iran planned it, trained them, armed them, and funded them. Just like Iran did that to the Hezbollah, who killed over 250 Marines in Lebanon in the 1980s. It was all Iran. And the fact that Iran is using its proxies to do these atrocities doesn't mean that now we only need to look at the proxies and not at Iran, who is the head of the octopus. So what President Trump skillfully did when he answered that question is, no, no, mister, don't go and talk to me about desalinization plant. Let's talk about what they did on October 7th. In fact, let's talk about what they did in the last 47 years. You see, he's taking it back. He's putting the dilemmas back in the reporters and the stupid, evil media. I call them the Medianites. He says, suddenly you care about desalinization plant? Oh, what about when they chopped off babies' heads and they split the belly of pregnant women and they raped and killed and massacred and kidnapped and what about that? It says now all you have to look at is desalinization plant. You see, he's exposing these things. So, and you have to understand this is a revolutionary thing. The world turned blind eye to what Hamas did, and the world loved to separate Iran from the responsibility that it has on what its proxies did and they are still doing, like Hezbollah is still doing now. And so my point is, Trump is saying, no, 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 no. There is a responsibility that they bear. They fund them, they arm them, they train them, and they send them. So with all the respect, there is a tight connection between the two. And I also want to tell you a third thing that is super important is that the evil, progressive, stupid, liberal media in Israel that hates the government so much came up with a story that the UAE struck Iran's desalinization plant. And that was a UAE thing. In other words, for the first time, an Arab Gulf state attacked Iran. Now, can you imagine? It came from Israeli media quoting a security source. It's always like that. There is no security source. They make it up. So it sounds serious and authentic, but it was baloney. And why did they do that? They did that in order to somehow create tension between the Israeli government and the government of the UAE. And then they gladly reported that the UAE is outraged over the media reports in Israel. First, they throw a lie, and then they report the outrage of the UAE from the lie. And that of course, I think, I don't know if I have that photo. No, the photo, there's another photo, replace images. Okay, well, I guess it's not here, but you will see it on my Telegram, and I'm talking about a photo of a photo of the UAE saying it's fake news. We did not do it, and when we do something, we are not going to let a third party report that. We will report that. It's very, very interesting to see all of that. And the last thing I want you to know is that we know that President Trump, just about 4 or 5 minutes ago, announced that if they are going to elect a new supreme leader, he won't stay alive for too long, because only someone that I approve is going to be there. He's not ruling out an Ayatollah, but he's ruling out anyone that is not subjected to his approval. It's very interesting. And then, of course, the foreign minister immediately said, this is our internal thing. You don't get a chance to say anything. Well, the president says, well, you're losing this war. I do get a chance to say whatever I want to say, because you guys are plotting against us. You're shooting and look, I mean, you have to see this. This is my team prepared this. And I think it's good for you to see this video of Iran basically shooting everywhere. So take a look at this particular map. Take a look at this one. Yep. As you can clearly see, this is it. They are shooting everywhere at everyone, and it's quite interesting to see that. So basically, again, America and Israel moved to phase two. Phase two is now attacking while you are standing in. In air, we have achieved full superiority, which means stand in means you fly. You don't have to fly from afar. You go in, stand in, shoot, come back, shoot again. And we're now attacking the Basij, the IRGC, oil refineries, government institutions, headquarters, and all of that. After we removed the missiles and the air defense systems and the launchers and the important key people that were part of the command chain, now starts the real hardcore. Now you're going to see the B1s and the B2s and the B-52s pounding more and more and more, because now when you remove the immediate threat and you removed all the layers of defense from the Iranian skies, now you can go and take care of surgically. And what Israel did last night, we surgically attacked in one of Tehran's airports, Maharabad, and we destroyed 14 aircrafts used by the IRGC to smuggle weapons to Hezbollah and other militias around the Middle East. And yet we did not touch passenger planes that the Iranian people are using. Surgically, we pinpointed, laser pointed at the exact tail numbers or planes, and we removed them. And you can go to my Telegram and see. It's amazing to see that the planes that remain standing and the ones that are no longer there. And there's more. I know that the IRGC headquarters in the Basij. Let me see if I can show you something literally from. It's a new video from the IDF. Take a look at this one. That's command center of internal security forces, multi-story base, Basij forces, IRGC ground forces. These are all dangerous places that we want to remove ahead of our thumbs up to the Iranian people to go to the streets. We want to make sure that it'll be safe for them to go out. They won't be massacred anymore. So we're taking care of business when it comes to this particular thing. So systematically, we are winning here, but it will not happen overnight. It's at least 2 more weeks. And meanwhile, Hezbollah made a huge mistake. They joined the war, and Israel is now pounding southern Lebanon, pounding the southern suburbs of Beirut, pounding the Bekaa Valley. And in the midst of all of that, we even landed special units in a hostile town to find out if the remains of a navigator of an F-4 that was shot down 40 years ago. We wanted to make sure that his remains are brought back, and there were at least 3 different options for where we believe he could be. Now that we took the samples from that town and realized it's not his, now we can concentrate on the other 2 options. But we will bring his bones back, because we take care of every soldier, dead or alive, every pilot, every navigator, dead or alive. Unfortunately, last night also, 2 Israeli soldiers were killed in southern Lebanon by Hezbollah. It's a bitter battle with Hezbollah. Hezbollah is still alive. We are, this time, one of the objectives of the war in the north is to disarm Hezbollah. It's no longer to hurt the Hezbollah, harm the Hezbollah, weaken the Hezbollah. This time, disarm Hezbollah. Leave Hezbollah only as a political movement of the Shiites in Lebanon. That's it. Now, if the Lebanese government is not going to do that, we will do that. And it's important that everybody knows in Lebanon, we are not the enemies of the Lebanese people. We have no claims in Lebanon. We do not want Beirut. We do not want any square inch in Lebanon. But if there is a particular area from which terrorists are attacking us, we will take over, we will clean it, and we will remain there until it is safe. This is the doctrine that we also hold in Syria, southern Syria. This is what we do also in Gaza, and that's what we're going to do anywhere where they're going to attack us from. The era of us clearing our settlements and towns and cities is over. Now our enemy will clear his settlements, towns, and villages, because we're going to move the fight to their territory, as we used to in the past. And unfortunately, the last 25 years, this progressive mindset, the virus that doesn't call for a decisive victory, that doesn't believe in victory, that doesn't believe in defeating evil, that doesn't even know what evil is. That's the progressive mindset that affected Europe. Europe is suffering right now because they don't even know how to differentiate between evil and good anymore. This is when this brain rot of the progressive virus is eating every good part in your brains. That's it. And so, thankfully, we managed to recover from that. Thankfully, President Trump managed to get at least the American military recovering from that. And Netanyahu is more decisive than ever before in the direction that we're going to. Now, some people are asking me, so do you see this war in the Bible? And we already talked about the fact that I see Persia still coming against Israel in the future, as the prophet Ezekiel says. He's talking about Persia coming against Israel in the future. And so no matter what's going to happen now, this is not the first round. That's not the first rodeo we have with Iran. Okay, let's face it. And we're not even sure if in 2 weeks from now, there will be a different leader that is not an Ayatollah. We don't know. What we do know is, and I will tell you this, the Bible has the last word. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not the next war. This is the war that leads to the next war. And the next war, the one that the Bible is very much writing to us in details, is the one of Ezekiel. And for Ezekiel's war to take place, there has to be an era of Israel safe, secure, and prosperous. And we know that at the end of this war, we already see the Israeli stock market right now is soaring. Israeli defense industries are having more orders than ever before, mostly from Arab countries around us that understand that our defense systems are the best in the world. And deterrence has been restored, and we believe that there will be a greater and wider circle of peace with other countries around us. Whether it's with Iran, I'm not sure, but with other countries, I am. So I believe that what we see now is the preparation for the next war. And the next war, the one that I'm pushing the book about, because it's a thriller, it's fiction, but it's based on a deep analysis of Ezekiel. The next war is super biblical, and Iran is part of it. And it's not part of it as a friend of Israel, but as a foe of Israel. And I don't care. Look, you can look at what you see now as biblical. I look at it as one more thing that supports a future biblical fulfillment. That's it. The war between Russia and Ukraine is not in the Bible. The war between America and I don't know, Venezuela is not in the Bible. There's so many things that are not necessarily in the Bible, but in many ways they are contributing to that which eventually is going to happen that is written in the Bible. And that's the most important thing. We have to always remember the Bible has the last word, and this is where we are right now. Good. So this was my short update. Again, oil refineries. Again, Trump is saying October 7th is part of what Iran is doing. And also telling you guys that as far as Trump is concerned, there will be no next supreme leader without his approval. And Israel right now is bombing the holy city of Qom, where they are supposed to they're supposed to elect the next, supreme leader. It's very interesting because the Israeli Minister of Defense released this morning a threat that, if you think you're going to have a new one, we're going to go after him as well. So the only next supreme leader in Iran that will not be removed or eliminated is the one that will be approved by the US president. Also, a special announcement from CENTCOM to the to the Iranian people. It's very interesting. And listen to what CENTCOM is saying. We recommend Iranian citizens to stay indoors due to Iranian fire from populated areas. We may be forced to act. We cannot guarantee the safety of civilians living in these areas. In other words, what they do now is what Hamas has been doing in Gaza and what Hezbollah has been doing in South Lebanon. It's the same mindset, same cycles. Now they go to populated areas, they're leaving their bases, and they're shooting from within populated areas. So for us to hurt the launcher or hurt the people who are using it, we don't want to hurt uninvolved civilians. So we're telling the civilians, just like IDF has been saying in Gaza and Lebanon, clear, don't be around those people, because if we hit them, you get hit if you're around them. So the United States is doing in Iran now what IDF is or has been doing in Gaza and in Lebanon, is telling the civilians, stay home in this case, or when we know that we're about to bomb a large area, just clear, evacuate. That's not a genocide. That's actually saving lives by telling them we're after the bad guys, not you guys. And so if you we want to spare your life, just go away. We give you time. We give you the advance warning. Now, in this case, we don't expect the Iranians to evacuate because there's nowhere to evacuate to. In every city, in every town, in every village, the IRGC and the Basij are working. So what we're telling them is stay home, stay indoor, lock the door. We're going to take care of the bad people. Anyone that will be outside next to a launcher with a weapon is a bad guy, and we will take him out. Quite amazing. All right, folks, I'll give you another update when needed. Thankfully, there was no alarm while we were live here. Go to church. It's Sunday. And thank you for watching, and share this video with as many as you can. All right. God bless you, and shalom.